Have you ever spent years looking for an answer only to realize life had been trying to give it to you all along? David, William Pierce, welcome back. And something happened to me this week that completely changed how I think about transformation. Not through months of therapy or another book or a breakthrough meditation. It was just one conversation that showed me, gave me the experience of what I've read has been possible. Within minutes, a story I'd been carrying for decades dissolved. So this week I was at a beautiful conscious gathering where a group of like-minded people had come together to explore presence and play, love. And during one conversation, someone asked me about my sobriety. And recently, yesterday, celebrated 60 days sober. They didn't ask me, though, what I'd learned, which I've been reflecting on. They asked me what my intention with it was and how long I planned to continue. And at the time, I gave an answer, but afterwards, upon reflection, I realized that in that moment, life wasn't just asking me for an answer, it was inviting me into a deeper recognition. One of the concepts I've been fascinated by and studying in Tantra is the idea of samskara. These are subtle psychological and energetic impressions that are left behind when experiences aren't fully integrated into our awareness. Sometimes they're formed in childhood, sometimes later in life. One of the remarkable things about the human system is that it preserves what it can't fully process in the moment, allowing those impressions to return later when we have greater awareness and capacity and the right support to finally meet them. The longer those impressions remain unintegrated, the more they can begin shaping the way we experience ourselves, our relationships, our habits and emotional reactions, as well as the stories that we tell ourselves. And if left undigested, they can create dis-ease and disease in the body. Ultimately, for me, this whole season of sobriety has been an experiment. Not simply to stop doing certain things, but to become someone different, to change aspects of my personality so that my personal reality might change with it. And this week it did. I'd written in my journal and prayed into what I truly wanted, and interestingly, I hadn't asked for my life to look differently. I'd asked to feel different. And amazingly, within minutes, life answered. Not through lightning in the sky or some mystical experience, but through a beautifully ordinary act of human connection. Within minutes, the heaviness that I'd been carrying completely disappeared. It was amazing. I had felt so tired, and then that meditation, that prayer, and then that conversation completely shifted things. It lifted the tiredness completely. A story that I believed for years was let go. There was a brief but profound moment of emotional release, but I walked away feeling lighter, more alive, and more joyful than I'd felt in a while. All from one simple conversation. The feeling that I had, the difference was incredible. Like, it's this sense that, we carry this stuff, and I felt the heaviness in my body and in my energy. And then through the conversation, that energy was released because I was able to put down that story and let that emotion go. And I felt so energized as a result. And it just really highlighted to me that this is true, this is real, this is a thing, to be able to let go of a story and digest it and it become energy to be used as fuel. And that's why I'm becoming increasingly passionate about transformational conversations, because I don't think people are broken. I think many people are living inside stories that made perfect sense at one point in their life, but no longer reflect who they truly are. And that's why I'm loving having the conversations I'm having, helping people uncover the hidden patterns beneath the stories that they've been holding on to, so that they can reveal something new. So if you've ever found yourself thinking, I know this habit isn't serving me anymore, but I can't seem to let it go, then I genuinely would love to explore that with you. It's amazing the shift that can occur in an incredibly short period of time when a conscious conversation is had. If you're curious to know more, I'll leave more information in the description, and I'll leave some stories here from people who've experienced transformational conversations themselves. This experience for me this week, in that shift, reminded me that transformation doesn't always have to be complicated. Sometimes it is as simple as the right conversation arriving at exactly the right moment. Sometimes the right question unlocks the story you've unknowingly been living inside. Sometimes the right words become like emotional enzymes, allowing years of stored experience to finally be digested and released to energize you. What once created fatigue becomes vitality. What once created suffering becomes freedom. One of the deepest things I'm beginning to understand is that life is constantly communicating with us. Not only through extraordinary moments, but through conversations, relationships, questions, coincidences, even the challenges we wish would disappear. They're all invitations. And the invitation isn't necessarily to search harder, it's to recognize more deeply. So I'll leave you with this week's contemplation. Where, this week, were you searching for something more, something different, something else? And when life may already have been revealing wisdom, beauty, connection, or even the answer you were seeking through the ordinary moments that you almost have overlooked. Remember, every aspect of your experience is an expression of the divine, and life itself is constantly inviting you into deeper recognition. If today's reflection resonated with you at all, I'll leave the full teaching link at the end of this video. You can explore through the description how to work with me and have your own transformational conversation and create the shift and release of energy that you deserve, to put down the baggage you've been carrying, feel lighter, and enjoy life more. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next transmission. Cheers.